You have a strange way of beginning your thoughts, as if each one is the start of an unfinished story. The moment it starts to make sense, your feelings shift and change, redirecting the path of your mind toward something new, something unexpected. There's a pattern to your thoughts, an ebb and flow that seems to mirror the rhythm of your emotions. You start with a fleeting moment of clarity, and before you know it, you're swept away by the current of feelings, unsure of where it will lead, but unable to stop yourself. Sometimes your thoughts begin as quiet whispers, soft and gentle, but as your emotions awaken, they amplify into a roar. What starts as curiosity soon turns into a torrent of feelings, sweeping you away into a world of introspection and discovery. It's strange how you can start your thoughts with the lightest of intentions, only to have them unravel into something more. Your feelings always seem to show up, adding their own twist to each thought, turning the simplest reflection into a journey of deep emotional understanding. You have a habit of starting your thoughts as if you're approaching something unknown, cautiously and with curiosity. But as your emotions surface, they transform that unknown into something tangible, something real, pushing you to confront the deeper parts of yourself. There's a strange beauty in the way your thoughts begin, as if they're reaching for something just out of reach, but then your emotions step in, making the distance between you and the truth seem less vast, guiding you to a place where understanding feels possible, even if fleeting. You often start your thoughts with uncertainty, and yet your emotions always seem to fill in the blanks, turning your confusion into clarity. It's as if your feelings know what your mind can't yet comprehend, showing you a deeper truth with each passing moment. The way you start thinking is almost like planting a seed, but it's your emotions that make it grow into something far greater. Your thoughts may begin as small seeds of curiosity, but they quickly blossom into a garden of introspection, each feeling blooming into something unexpected. It's curious how your mind works. You begin with an innocent thought, but as your emotions flood in, that thought grows into something far more intricate, more profound. You find yourself lost in the layers of feeling that follow, trying to make sense of a world that is constantly changing. You often start with a single thought, so simple, so unassuming, but before long, your feelings take over, infusing that thought with a depth you never expected. Your emotions seem to weave their way into your thoughts, creating a tapestry that is both beautiful and confusing. Your thoughts have a way of starting small, like the faintest flicker of a candle, but as your emotions begin to rise, they burst into a blazing fire, lighting up the path ahead. It's as though every feeling you experience has the power to transform your thoughts into something much more powerful. You have this unique way of starting your thoughts as if they're drifting on the edge of your awareness, just barely perceptible. But as your emotions grow stronger, those thoughts begin to crystallize, taking shape and form until they become something you can't ignore. There's a strange dance between your thoughts and emotions. You start with a simple reflection, a question, a desire to understand, but before you know it, your feelings pull you deeper, turning your simple thought into something much more complex, something that requires more than just intellectual understanding. You have a tendency to start your thoughts with hesitation, unsure of where they will take you. But once your emotions join in, there's no turning back. It's as if your feelings are the catalyst that transforms your thoughts into something full, something you can no longer ignore. There's a certain magic in the way your thoughts begin, as if each one is a spark waiting to ignite. But it's your emotions that turn that spark into a wildfire, consuming everything in its path and leaving you with a newfound understanding of yourself and the world around you. Your thoughts often start as whispers, faint and barely audible, but as your emotions begin to stir, they amplify, growing louder until they demand your attention. It's as if your feelings have a way of guiding your thoughts toward something important, something you can't afford to ignore. You have a way of starting your thoughts with questions, but those questions soon turn into discoveries as your emotions lead the way. What began as uncertainty transforms into understanding, and what once seemed impossible suddenly becomes clear. You have a very strange habit. You often start thinking about the same thing over and over again, and yet when you try to put it into words, it feels like you're speaking in riddles. It's as if your mind is trying to solve a puzzle with pieces that don't quite fit, yet it still refuses to let go of the thought, drawing you deeper into its intricate web. Your thoughts and feelings seem to start in the most unexpected places, like a flicker of light on a dark path, or a single note in a song you haven't heard in years. It's as though your mind is constantly trying to decode a hidden message, but the words never seem to align perfectly, leaving you to wonder about the deeper meanings of it all. There are moments when your thoughts spiral in endless loops, chasing each other in circles, unable to find a way out. Your emotions tag along like shadowy figures, slipping into your consciousness without warning. It's as if they're preparing you for something, but you can't quite put your finger on what. You often start your thoughts with the simplest questions, but they soon unravel into a complex tapestry of emotions and introspection. Each feeling, each word, seems to take on a life of its own, urging you to delve deeper, to understand the hidden layers beneath your surface. It's strange how you can start a thought with the lightest of intentions, only to realize that your mind is like a vast ocean, and every thought you have sends ripples across the water, pulling you into the depths of your emotions, memories, and fears. Sometimes your mind begins to wander, drifting into a space where time feels irrelevant and everything feels possible. It's as if your thoughts are simply waiting for a chance to manifest into something more, something that could change everything if only you knew where to start. You often start with a question, but your feelings have a way of expanding that question into something far more significant. It's as if your emotions know the answers before your mind does, and they push you toward clarity, one uncertain step at a time. There's a strange power in the way your thoughts begin, like a whisper of a dream that lingers long after you wake. They carry the weight of your emotions, as if each feeling is a piece of the puzzle, waiting to click into place. Yet you're still searching for that one perfect moment of understanding. The way your thoughts begin is a mystery in itself. You can never predict what's coming next, and yet there's a strange comfort in knowing that your emotions will be there to guide you, like a steady hand through the unknown. It's fascinating how your thoughts always start with something seemingly small, and yet they grow into something much bigger. Each feeling you experience layers over the last, creating a complex web of emotions that are sometimes impossible to untangle, but always worth exploring. You often begin with a thought so fleeting, so insignificant, but it spirals into something far more intense as your emotions flood in. It's as if your feelings have a voice of their own, one that slowly takes over, turning your simple thoughts into profound revelations. There's a strange habit you have of starting your thoughts with the tiniest spark of curiosity, only to find that your emotions begin to fan that spark into a raging fire of possibilities. It's as though you can't help but let your feelings color every thought, transforming it into something far more meaningful. The way your mind works is almost hypnotic. You start with the simplest of thoughts, but before you know it, you're immersed in a sea of emotions, each one more powerful than the last, pulling you deeper into your own subconscious. Your thoughts have a way of starting out like gentle ripples in a pond, only to become a cascade of emotions that seem to have no end. Each feeling that arises adds another layer until you realize that the journey to understand your mind is an ongoing process, one that never really ends. You've developed this strange habit of starting your thoughts with just a whisper, and yet they grow into something much more profound. It's as if your emotions take over, urging you to dive deeper, to search for something that lies just beneath the surface. It's as though your thoughts are never truly finished, always evolving, always expanding. You start with a single question, but before you know it, your feelings have woven that question into something far more intricate, a tapestry of emotions that you can't quite unravel. You have a way of starting your thoughts with such intensity, as though each one is a flicker of something greater waiting to emerge. But the longer you dwell on it, the more your emotions get tangled in the threads, making it harder to see the bigger picture.